All right, there's another bottle down there, under the stairs. But that's lovely, thank you. I think it looks rather nice, that sort of green flavor.
Yeah, and it's worth drinking even for the colour, isn't it?
Yes, I thought, because I'm, you know,
In
I
fact,
can't, these artistic urges, I can't gainsay them, you know.
Mike, did you ever really have any choice about whether or not you should go into the Navy?
Well, yes, I did really. But it's all because I had mumps, you know. And a bar of toffee. It's rather silly, it's perfectly true. But matron, no, that's wrong. Mossman Minor had measles. And matron got us in the changing room to tell us this great epic about Mossman and measles. And she warned us about various things. Meanwhile, I found I was sitting on my tuck box. So I looked inside. It was full of dust and grime, but in one corner there was quite a sizable bit of Sharp's creamy toffee. And you were meant to divide this up and give it to your friends. But I thought, you know, it'd be rather difficult. It's rather sticky and a bit gooey. I had to sort of prise it off the woodwork. And eventually I stuffed all this in my mouth, and it was rather a lot. And if you remember that toffee, it was the sort of thing that was invented just before superglue, you know. If you had top and bottom sets or something, it's the sort of thing you wouldn't have. But as a young fellow, I was chewing away like this. A matron was winding up her dissertation on measles and said the main thing is, if you get any pain in your jaws, do come and see me. So I thought, well, that's all right, that's nothing very much. And anyway, that was that, we went off. Of course, I hadn't been in the classroom more than a couple of minutes. Then I suddenly thought, I hadn't really finished the toffee, but as soon as I finished it, of course my jaws had been working overtime and they were aching. So I went along to matron, and the doctor came the next morning, and my jaw wasn't aching anymore. And they were all rather disappointed about that. And then the doctor came up, and then I pressed it, that's right, I pushed it in there. And actually, if you push your finger in there now, it's one of the most sensitive parts of your body. And it doesn't hurt in the hinge. It is
yes.
sensitive. I suppose that's why boxers and people perhaps use it, I don't know. And the doctor came up, and I did that, and then everyone got happy. And then the doctor started to feel me round here. And he said, is that tender? Well, the only time I've ever heard tender used at home was whether the joint was tender on Sundays. So I looked at him, and I was quite small. And I thought, well, what's he going to cut some off and eat it or something, you know? You don't know with grown-ups what they're going to do. And, so I said, well, yes, I suppose it would be. Answering a very hypothetical question. He said, that's it, he's got mumps. So I was sent up to the sick bay place on the roof, where Mossman Minor was. And he was going to join the Navy. And he got all Wonder Book of Ships and all that sort of thing, and things about the Navy all over the place. And I read these. Then when we got better, we were allowed to play in the kitchen garden. And we went up the kitchen garden, and he wanted to play naval games. And so he came charging down the path as the Mighty Hood, which was the biggest battle cruiser battleship we had in those days. And I was just a picket boat, you see. And I bounced out at him from under a gooseberry bush or something, and because I was slightly bigger than him, the picket boat sank the Mighty Hood every time, you see. And just about this time, my old mum ricocheted up to Somerset from Devon, in Old Morris Cowley, and dashed out, saw the headmaster and said, I think Mike should go in the Navy. There's one more day left for the interview, and I think starting. And the headmaster said, I think fairly wisely, I don't really see Mike in the Navy. But Ma insisted, and she was a very determined woman. And in no time at all, I was being dragged beneath, I suppose. But that's how that sort of thing happened.
So it was quite a shock.
Quite a shock. Quite a shock.
Well, did it improve at all?
Well,
Were there breakthroughs? Did you come to terms?
I told you. You want the story of how I came to terms with it all?
Yes. That sounds a good idea.
Well,
From the beginning.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember what the beginning was, but I will tell you here, because it would happen the very next day, which is the most important thing of my life, I think. I was in this extraordinary place, remember, absolutely soulless, and just ordered about like a lot of baggage all the time. And the next